RuneScape and network economies, the GDP of RuneScape being more than $100 million a year. I think we have a lot to learn in DeFi and in Web3 gaming UX from successful economies like RuneScape. So hello, I'm Keyp Joseph. I've been playing RuneScape for almost 20 years, and I've been doing crypto for not quite as long, but I have contributed to a lot of successful Web3 projects like OpenSea, Ethereum.org, Raid Guild, Metacartel, Consensus, Gitcoin, DAOhouse, other things. I've been a smart contract developer for about 6 years, and now I'm working on Keyp, which is an onboarding tool to improve the user experience in Web3 games and apps. So on the left, I got my RuneScape character wearing Tetsu armor, and you can follow me on Twitter at Keyp Joseph. Send me a DM if you want to be friends in RuneScape. And I will double your money if you give me all your money. I promise to give it twice as much back. Yeah, so a little bit of context if you're not familiar with RuneScape's economy. The game runs on GP, gold pieces. We got a money stack right here. There's thousands and thousands, tens of thousands actually, of items in the game. They each have a particular value in GP. And players can sell their items for GP, earn GP in different ways, and use that to buy items from each other. There's a place in RuneScape called the Grand Exchange. Who's ever sold something on the Grand Exchange? Awesome, awesome, awesome. Who's ever sold something on any exchange? Right, even more. So the Grand Exchange is where all the players, millions and millions of RuneScape players, there's actually 200 million RuneScape accounts have been created, where everyone meets, buy and sell their items using GP. And it was one of the first iterations, definitely my first interaction, with an online digital exchange where I can buy and sell digital goods, unique things like, not NFTs, but unique digital collectibles and other digital assets. Like I said, 200 million RuneScape accounts. That's orders of magnitude more users on the Grand Exchange than on Uniswap or any other DEX or any other exchange in crypto. So there's obviously something going right there that we should learn from. You can go online and check out how much gold is going through the Grand Exchange. They actually have a lot of analytics, and you can go through every particular item, see the price history for those items, and see what the volume of them going through it is. And if we look at the top 100 or so most traded items on RuneScape, and we extrapolate how much gold is being bought and sold, how much of these items is going through the exchange and being traded, we can calculate what a GDP of RuneScape is and then convert that to US dollars using the black market price of RuneScape gold. And we're going to talk more about that. If we extrapolate and we say, how much gold is going through RuneScape? Trillions and trillions of GP every day for all these items. The legal, just in the Grand Exchange, the legal GDP of RuneScape is well over $100 million a year. Huge amount, right? If anyone here wants to create an app or a game economy with Web3 tools for the real world, if your game has $100 million a year of volume, that would be very successful. There would be a lot that we could learn from that. If we add the black market GDP for illegal gold trading that's not allowed in the game, that's happening outside of the game, that could double it. And on the high end, my estimate for the actual GDP of RuneScape is $400 million a year, which is massive. So that's all happening in RuneScape Gold. There's some USD exchanging hands for sure for the black market, but this is in-game GDP. And the point I want to make today, the most specific thing I want everyone to come away from this talk having is that in-game GDP is real GDP. This is real money, and it has real value. And if we make these assets real, then it can really have serious impacts on the people's lives that play these games. So let's talk about the black market for a second. We've got a character here wearing a blue party hat. Who's ever seen a party hat before? Yeah, awesome. So party hats are some of the rarest items in the entire game of RuneScape. They're so valuable that the maximum amount of money that you can have on your account stored as a 256-bit integer is not enough to buy a party hat. So they're extremely valuable. And basically, if you want one, the most easiest way for you to do so is to go onto a black market, which the developer of RuneScape does not allow. So you risk your account getting banned for doing illegal real-world trading. And it's really fucking sketchy experience. So we have black markets on RuneScape. We have very valuable items. And how valuable are these? If we go and look at, this is a screenshot from one of the very sketchy online forums, black marketplaces that sell RuneScape items for real GDP. A green party hat costs over 2,000 USD. $2,000, and it's not even an NFT. It's just a digital collectible inside of RuneScape that costs $2,000. And every time one of these trades hands, the developer of RuneScape, Jagex, who created these party hats, who created this economy, who maintains the servers and maintains the game and keeps the economy healthy, they don't get anything. They get nothing. Every single time one of these party hats is exchanging hands, it's thousands of dollars. And there are even items that cost more than this inside of RuneScape. So how do they make money? How does Jagex work? How is this game sustainable? And how has it kept running for 20 years? They have monthly memberships. They have microtransactions where you can buy boxes and hope you get other rare, non-tradable items that don't affect the economy too much. And I think that those are actually very extractive ways. They're taking value away from their players. The players are creating value inside of their economy with this real GDP. And new business models are possible with Web3 that have never been possible before. So instead of taking a monthly fee from your user, instead of adding gambling and other extractive things to your games like microtransactions, you could be capturing volume. You could be capturing a fee on this $2,000 sale, right? And then that way, the game can be sustainable and can have rare items that everyone actually wants to use that provide them utility in the game, but without extracting value from all of your players. And that's not really a business model that has been possible before without having networked economies, without having Web3 and crypto running it in the back end. So we're stuck with monthly memberships and microtransactions. There was recently a investigation in the UK. Someone became addicted to gambling, not addicted to RuneScape, but addicted to gambling, which is a serious problem. And they spent $62,000 on loot boxes inside of RuneScape playing the Treasure Hunter game. 62,000 USD, right? Obviously, that's broken. That's not a good system, and the game itself is worse off because these type of microtransactions exist and because they're preying on a very small number of people who have gambling addictions. So it would be much better if our networked economies were able to take advantage of the value being created in their games rather than just extracting it from a small minority of players in a really kind of just disgusting way, in my opinion. So that is just starting to begin, right? The RuneScape economy has existed for 20 years, and it's thriving, but it's also very, very inflationary. So to combat inflation, just 2 months ago, for the first time in the 20-year history of RuneScape, they added a 2% convenience fee. So every time you sell an item on the Grand Exchange, on this exchange to other players, they remove 2% of that from the game, and kind of like burning the base fee, kind of like how Ethereum works, right? To just make it less inflationary. And that gold that is getting deleted, that gold has real USD value, right? We know that people are willing to spend thousands of dollars on valuable items in RuneScape that actually give them utility. But the developer creating this 2% tax just deletes 100% of the gold, whereas if their economy was connected to Web3, if the RuneScape economy was treated like the real economy that it is, and other MMOs this is true for as well, part of that 2% fee, part of that tax could be going to RuneScape. And 2% of $400 million, that's enough money to run all the servers for a year. So the RuneScape economy is actually sustainable. It does create enough value to run RuneScape and to keep it going forever as a sustainable, decentralized model. But when our coins and our in-game assets are treated as centralized things that just belong in this game, that are isolated and not part of a network economy, the developers don't get those benefits and instead have to rely on microtransactions and other more regressive types of business models that extract value from their customers. So I've said this a lot of times, network economy, what does that mean? There's lots of other popular MMOs around, and there's new ones. There's a bunch in the crowd that I think are really cool here today at ETHDenver presenting what they've been working on. And I just think that it would be really amazing if I could trade my RuneScape gold for diamonds in Minecraft, for gold in World of Warcraft, for these other games that I want to play, and I already have created this value on this network. If they were all connected, the games could earn additional fees from people trading between different games and just further create more sustainable systems for our online economies, for our digital economies. And if we look at the number of players engaging in all of these different online MMOs, in all of these different games, it's way more than are playing Web3 games. It's way more than are even interacting with all of DeFi. So we've created these open, transparent, and fair financial protocols, and we've put them on, and we're not connecting them to the place online where the most value is being passed, where the most value is being traded between people, and in online economies, in network economies, where people could be benefiting from DeFi. If there was a lending model, if there was more transparency for how the Grand Exchange works in RuneScape, everybody would benefit from that. And I think those ideals are worth pursuing, especially in popular games that have hundreds of millions of players and really impact a lot of people's lives. So here's my challenge to everyone at ETHDenver today. Turn RuneScape off, close the laptop, engage with your fellow players in real life. Fun stuff. I love meeting everybody. And let's together build economies that create value, those already exist, but also pass that value on to the players and pass that value on to the people creating the value. So tradable markets, tradable between different games, transparency in all lending and all exchanges inside of our games, and taxes or transaction fees that create sustainability for the game and help the game continue to exist and help those communities continue to thrive. These things, you don't need Web3, you don't need crypto to add any of these features to a game, right? But Web3 and DeFi makes it more transparent and makes it better for collecting and using those assets as real currency that you can actually sell, that you can actually pay your server hosting bills in, and that can actually translate to real-world wealth. So thank you for coming to my talk about RuneScape. We've got 2 minutes left. I'm Joseph Schiarizzi. I'm working on Keyp. If you're working on a game and you'd like the game and the economy in your game to be a real economy, come talk to me. I'd love to chat. And Keyp is working on building onboarding tools for games and apps to make them more accessible for everyone when you're building on Web3. So come visit the Keyp booth. We're by the north entrance door down that way. And thank you so much for coming.